Good morning, and good morning. Thank you for joining me on yet another episode of the Roundtable Talk Show. I am your host, Sharifah Hardie, and today's show, we are going to have a lot of fun. We have a very special guest today, and we're going to, play a couple of games, maybe do some magic tricks. So, you know what I always ask you to do, and that is to go out and be an evangelist for the Roundtable Talk Show. There's someone who needs this information. There's someone who, maybe they're having a boring day. Maybe they need a little laughter in their lives, but they won't be able to laugh unless you go ahead and share the show with them, because friends don't let friends miss out on the Roundtable Talk Show. So today we're speaking with a very special guest, Mr. Mitch Williams. Mitch is a Renaissance man. He is an international award-winning magic entertainer. He's an inspirational speaker and author of the book, A Call to Magic, The Artful Science of Transforming Self and World. He is an authority on creativity, personal transformation, and peak performance, a true modern Renaissance man. Mitch is an accomplished artist, musician, poet, author, athlete, gardener, gourmet cook, and woodworker. Good morning, Mitch. How are you?
I'm great, Sharifah. Thanks for that nice introduction, and it's great to be here and finally get to talk to you.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to learning more about you. So we had the wonderful introduction. We talked a little bit about you, but tell us, who are you? What do you do? And what are you passionate about?
Well, I'm passionate about all kinds of things, as everyone heard in my introduction. I sometimes say that I couldn't decide what I wanted to do when I grew up, and so I do all kinds of things. But one of my main passions has been magic and magic entertainment since I was very young. That and art and creativity, and then when I was in my teen years, I got involved in the martial arts. And out of that, also got involved in peak performance and success strategies, and also Eastern philosophies. And over time, they all started blending together into kind of a holistic approach to what I do. Even though I started out as an entertainer, I kind of branched off into speaking and writing, and I'm also very passionate about using magic as a metaphor for peak performance, for doing the impossible. Magic is about doing the impossible. Magic is also about transformation. It's about seeing through the illusion that's all around us and changing our perceptions of ourselves and the world around us, so that we can lead lives that are more creative and fulfilling and kind of tuned in to the needs of the people around us.
And when you watch other magicians do their tricks, do you see what's happening? Do you see the sleight of hands? How is that experience for you?
I do. I lived in Los Angeles for about 10 years and became recognized as one of the top magicians in Southern California. And I've traveled around the world. And I've done teaching seminars for other magicians on how to approach magic as an actual art form. But I'm not so interested in the how it's done as I am the why, and the impact that the performance has for us. So, being mystified by something that happens isn't part of the, not knowing how it's done is not so much of what I focus on as I do the impact of that moment of mystery. Einstein said the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. He said it's the source of all true art and science. And so when I look at other magicians and their performances, I'm looking for those moments of mystery, of wonder, of capturing an audience. And even if the audience knows how something is done, it doesn't matter, so long as they're swept up in that moment of mystery and that that suspension of disbelief. You know, one of the analogies I like to make is that you know, if you go to a Steven Spielberg movie, you know, all the big special effects going on, and if during the movie you're sitting there trying to figure out how they did the special effects, well, something's gone wrong. You know, you want to be caught up in the story. You want to be caught up in the experience of it. And for me, that's what magic is about too. It's about getting caught up in that experience that can be inspiring and even transformative sometimes. It's having that, what I call a magical moment. What psychologist Abraham Maslow called a peak experience. You know, it's those magical moments that transform our perceptions of the world around us, so that we see things in a new light. And for me, that's what it's all about.
So if someone is just starting out and they want to be a magician, they've seen people perform, fell in love with it, and this is what they want to do, what are some of the suggestions and recommendations you have to create that special moment, that mystique, that mystery?
Well, when you're first starting out, you have to learn the nuts and bolts. You know, you have to learn the techniques of the trade. You have to at least come up with a handful of magic effects that you can learn to do. However, what I would recommend that people start focusing on very soon is finding their performing persona. You know, who are you as a performer? Who are you as an individual? And of course, this crosses over into real life. As a teacher, as an educator, as an inspiring, inspirational speaker, I recommend that people find who they are as an individual. So it's finding your own uniqueness, your own kind of special qualities. And I think that's true for a performer too. You've got to find that character, that persona that you're going to use to express what it is you want to express through any art form, but with magic as well. So for magical performers, it's about I try to get magicians to focus not so much on the magic trick itself as on the, you know, expressing a magical moment through their personality, making that the core of it. And of course, as I said, this has a lot of crossovers into real life, into our everyday life, that, you know, lessons that we can all learn.
No, I definitely agree. Many entertainers, not just magicians, have said the same thing. You know, when you look at Beyonce, she'll say, you know, I become Sasha Fierce. That's her alter ego. This is the personality that she puts on to be able to be Beyonce, to perform, to do some of the things that maybe Beyonce knows wouldn't do. Why do you find that that's a necessity for entertainers? Do you feel that it's easier for them to step into a role and maybe say things or do things that this other, you know, their normal personality, regular personality wouldn't necessarily say or do?
It certainly can be, and actors have that ability to take on a completely different persona from their own. For most of us, though, I think the key is really revealing something of who you are as an individual, as a unique personality. Because, as I said, we all have something about us that is so unique, so specific to who we are as individuals. And it's that uniqueness that allows us to connect with other people, to bridge that gap. You know, that I think that's one of the important things of talking about diversity. Unity and diversity is about the fact that our differences are not things that should keep us apart. Our differences are the very things that should bring us together. Because without that diversity, without the differences and the uniqueness that we have, you know, we'd all be the same. And when we tap into that uniqueness and help others to tap into that uniqueness, then I think we're really getting somewhere. So it's finding that, you know, what is it about me? What is it about you that's completely different, that will be appealing to other people? It's finding that and tapping into it that I think is one of the keys to success in any endeavor.
Mhm. Now, there are many entertainers who say there's nothing like that feeling of being on stage. Do you feel that way?
Yes. Like I said, those moments of magic, the magical moments, it's not so much about, the magic effect that I'm doing as it is about that connection with an audience. And that's true whether I'm performing for an audience of 1,000 people or just 2 or 3 people, one-on-one. There's a real magic that comes into play. And there's something about that energy, about that connection. And again, we're really talking about human experience here. What does it mean to be a fully functioning human being, and tapping into those experiences that take us to another place. And there's something very, very powerful about connecting with people in that way. And magic is one vehicle to do that, but all art forms and all intellectual pursuits, all even political pursuits, anything that we can use to reach out and touch each other and to connect with each other. I think there's something very powerful about that.
Different mediums. So I know over the past, almost 16 months, you have been doing comedy via Zoom. So how has that been for you? Has it given you the same feeling, the same connection as it would to be in front of a live audience?
It's really not the same. And I've spent a lot of time writing because that's another way that you can reach out to people and hopefully inspire them, hopefully connect with them in one way or another. There's something about the personal connection, but it doesn't have to be in a live event. It can be, like I said, writing. I've done a series of articles about this experience that we're having through the pandemic and the political divide that we've been going through. And this idea of finding our uniqueness, finding those moments of wonder, finding the magic in everyday life are things that we can use as vehicles, again, to reach out and touch one another. And so whether that's through performing or through writing or through speaking or any other endeavor, there is a power to it. And yes, I think we've all been transformed by this past year where we've experienced what we've experienced. Hopefully it inevitably will bring us closer together, in spite of the seeming divisiveness that we've experienced recently.
Yes, I think that'll take a little bit of magic. Do you have any magic that you can show us this morning, Mitch?
Sure. Let me show you something simple. This is just some sleight of hand. This is a coin. This is an American $50. And you can see that money is just one more illusion. It's just an idea. And so it can seem important, but that's part of the illusion. And one of the things that we see in society is people put a lot of emphasis on material things like money. And of course, money is the representative of material wealth and material resources. But again, ultimately, in and of itself, it has no real meaning. It's just an illusion. And so, we can learn lessons through things like that by understanding that our perceptions of the world around us are never completely accurate. So, whatever we perceive of the world around us, even the divisiveness that we've been experiencing, is illusory ultimately. And what's real, what's true, are the deeper truths, are those connections between us. And so one of the things that we have to remember is that when we when we perceive a situation as threatening or as an obstacle that we're trying to overcome, that really is a misperception, an illusion of our perceptions. And the important thing about that is that we can change our perceptions of the world around us and see things in a new light. So there's always more possibility. It also reminds us to keep an open mind. You know, if we get stuck in seeing things one particular way, well, that's always illusory, because no matter how we see things, it's never completely accurate. We never see things from all perspectives simultaneously. It's part of the element of human perception that it's never complete, it's never whole, it's never 100% accurate. And so we need to remind ourselves that, you know, what we think is real is illusory in a sense. And so that reminds us that we need to keep an open mind, so that we're always open to exploring new areas.
I love it. That was fun. I like that. But that trick that one you just did, isn't that, and you know, I love watching movies, and I always see that one on the movies. That usually the coin one is usually like one of the first ones that you learn. Is that true? Is that inaccurate?
No, that is true for a lot of people. My dad knew a couple of magic tricks when I was a little kid, and that was one of the first things that I learned was a simple coin sleight of hand trick. And I've always preferred sleight of hand magic because there's a purity to it. It's not based on some kind of a gimmick or a gaff that does the magic for you. It's based on physical skill, and you can also blend that skill into the expression of your personality. So you know, it's blending the technique with the expression of what I do that I find so powerful.
Yeah, I always see it in the movies. They take the little coin from behind the ear, like oh, that's so cool. I got to figure out how to. I want another one. Do you have another one, Mitch?
Sure. Let's get into the psychology here.
Okay.
And I'm going to involve you in this.
Okay.
So one of the things that I talk about in my book, and that I talk about in my speeches, is the power of the creative process. And let's go into this a little bit, and then we'll get to the magic in just a little while, and we'll kind of build on this. Now, usually the way we experience life is we begin our struggle at the physical level. And first, you need to meet all of your physical needs. Once you have your physical needs met, then we move into the emotional and the psychological arena. And we look for fulfillment in those areas. And then eventually we move into what might be called the super conscious area of awareness. It's more transcendent. And those who are familiar with psychology may recognize this from the work of Abraham Maslow and his hierarchy of needs. First, the physical needs are met, then the psychological, and on, eventually getting to what he called self-actualization, of realizing more and more of our potential as human beings. Well, it's those areas, those areas at the top, the self-actualized areas, that have to do with intuition and really connecting to who we are as human beings. And I believe in this creative process, we have to take this entire process from the physical up to the intuitional level and turn it around, turn it upside down. Instead of starting at the physical level, we begin with the intuition, with the inspiration. The inspiration is a seed, the beginning of anything that we want to create or attain or achieve. It's the beginning of our creative process, whatever it is that we're going to create as our personal magical work of art. And when we begin with inspiration, we know that there is a certain perfection about this intuitive perfection. It's knowing from heart level instead of just head or gut, right? It's not just emotion, it's not just thought, it's about something a little beyond that. When we begin at that place, that's the creative source of our intuition, of our inspiration. that begins the process. Now we have a seed idea of something that we want to achieve, something we want to create. Now we bring this down to the mental level. And what we do at that point is we create a vivid mental picture of whatever it is that we want to achieve, whatever we want to create, our magical work of art, whatever that means. And this can be some expansive creative vision that we have, or it can be just saying the right words to the right person at the right time because we feel inspired to do so. It has power to it. But we need to see this clearly in our imagination, in our mental imagination. We make it a mental vision, and that has power. Once you see it, you know what you're moving towards. Then, once you have that mental vision, you bring it down to the emotional level, and you fill that mental image with the energy of our emotions in the form of a burning desire. So we have the inspiration, we have the mental vision, we have the emotional energy, which fills that form that we see in our imagination. And then finally, we make it a physical reality. And usually that means to take whatever physical actions we need in order for something to take place. So we have the inspiration, the mental vision, the emotional energy, and the physical manifestation of what we're wanting to achieve. It's a process of creativity. So let's create something. I'm having an inspiration right now. Okay, and I
love
want to share
it.
it with you. I want to share the vision of this with you. So let's imagine a deck of cards. I'm going to take a deck of cards and I'm going to hand them to you. Can you take them? Here you go.
I got him. I got him.
Okay. Now take the cards. First of all, we need to mix them up so that we know they're in some random order. Now,
Okay, I'm shuffling them.
Yeah.
I'm cutting the deck.
Sharifah.
Yes.
It's a lot easier if you take them out of the box first.
Oh, okay. Let me take them out. Okay, how do I open the box? Take the little plastic off, pull back the little card, take the deck, sit the box down. Okay,
Good,
now I'm
good,
shuffling.
good. Now shuffle the cards.
Cut.
Okay, now here's what I'd like you to do.
Okay.
I'd like you to look through the cards. I'd like you to take out one. Oh wait, I think you dropped one. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, grab that and put it back in.
Okay, I got it. It's back in the deck.
Nice. You're crazier than I am.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
Okay, now again, we're using our imagination here. We're bringing in the energy of our emotions. We're creating from the place of inspiration. So look through the cards, take out one card.
Okay.
But when you do, make sure it's not an ace or a joker, since those are kind of obvious choices.
Okay.
Any other card would be fine. Okay.
Okay, here's my card.
Take a look at it.
Okay. I got it. I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Show it to the viewers at home. Turn it around. Oh, don't let me see though. I'll turn away.
Okay, you see it? This is my card. Okay, they saw it. I turned it back around so you can turn back around.
All right. Now turn that card upside down. Put it back in the deck so that it's backwards, upside down.
Okay, I did.
Even up the cards.
Okay, they're even. I made them.
Yeah. Put them back in the box.
Okay, got to get the box. The box is over here. So now I put them back in the box. Okay.
Make sure you close the flap there too.
Oh, forgot the flap. Flaps closed.
Yeah, and just hand them back here to me.
Okay, you got them? You got them, Mitch?
Yeah.
Okay. Woo, you got them.
Huh. Well, we've got the cards out here now. We had an inspiration.
Yes.
We created a mental vision.
Yes.
We had a little fun, inspired
We did.
some emotion.
Yes.
And now we've manifested something in physical form.
Yes.
So tell me, Sharifah, do you still remember the name of the card that you chose?
I do, Mitch, but now I'm scared because I'm like, if you pull my card out of that deck, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna shout, I don't know. I might just pass out.
Well, just so everyone else knows, in case they couldn't see it in their imagination, share it for the first time. What was the name of the card that you chose?
Aren't you supposed to show me first? No?
No. You know why?
Why?
Because it's my trick. I get to make the rules.
You sound like me. I always say that. This is my show. I make up my own rules on my show. Okay.
No,
okay.
seriously, what would you
Okay. It was the Two of Hearts, Mitch.
Two of Hearts. Okay. Let's take a look here. In fact, let's give these a quick cut. I'll bet you think this is really going to work, don't you?
I waited.
There's one. There is one backwards. You put it in backwards, right? The card that you chose?
No, I didn't, Mitch. You put it in backwards. You put it in backwards when you put it in that deck, and now you're blaming me.
In your imagination, though, when you were took your card out and you put it back in, you put it in backwards. And tell us again, what was your card?
Not that one. Whatever's in your hand, not that one. It was the Two of Hearts.
The Two of Hearts. Wow, that's
I think you guessed because that's probably the most common used card that people just go with automatically. I want to do that again. I want to do over. I want to try that again, Mitch. Give me the cards back.
Okay, here you go.
Okay, I got them back. We're gonna do this again. I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna take the little thing off. Take them out the deck. Put the box down. Shuffle them real good this time. Make sure Mitch isn't cheating. I shuffled them, Mitch.
Okay, look through the cards.
Okay, I'm looking through the cards.
Take out another card. Make sure it's not the Two of Hearts.
Okay, not that's anything but the. Okay, pulled it out.
Turn it over. Put it back
Okay,
in the deck so it's backwards.
I put it back in the deck. When am I supposed to show the people?
Oh yeah, take it back out and show them. I won't
take
look.
Okay. Look, this is the card this time. Mitch doesn't know. He can't see it. Okay, put it back in the deck backwards.
Okay.
Okay.
It's upside down.
Upside down.
Okay, even up the cards.
They even. I put them in the little even.
Back in the box. Close the flap.
I gotta get the box. Put them back in the box. Close the flap.
Okay. You chose another card, yes?
Yes, it was not the Two of Hearts.
This is the energy of transformation.
Okay.
When we have a perception of things in the world around us, we think that perception is based on the reality. It's not. In fact, oftentimes the reality is based on our perception. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what was the card that you chose this time?
The Nine of Diamonds, Mitch.
Really?
Yes. I'm watching you. You have to talk, Mitch.
I don't see one backwards here. Wait. Oh, there. It's almost at the end. What was it again?
The Nine of Diamonds.
Really?
Yes. I like that. I like that little sleight of hand thing. You have to teach me how to do that, Mitch, so I can fool some people at the party.
Can you keep a secret?
Yes. So can I. I know. I'm gonna learn that trick, Mitch. That was a lot of fun. And I love the inspirational aspect of it. I love the thought that goes into it. It's genius, if you ask me, because it's more than just a card trick. It's about imagination and using your mind to envision something. I think that is powerful. Now, Mitch, we are coming down to the last few minutes of this show, and I've had a lot of fun today. But what I love to do at the end of every show is just simply allow my guests the opportunity to speak directly to the audience, to everyone who is watching the show live, as well as everyone who is watching it in the archives, and let them know what you want them to take away from your appearance here today.
Well, I think more than anything else, to remember to to have a little bit of magic. Another thing that Einstein said is that if you're closed off from that experience of mystery, of wonder, that your eyes are as good as shut, your mind is closed. And so remember every single day to experience the magical that's around us all the time, because life is inherently magical. And you know, we think of success often in material terms. And I think it's important to understand that the material level really is just the level of manifestation and resources for a deeper experience. You know, what's really important in life is invisible to the eye, in a sense. And we have to look for the magic that's all around us all the time and tap into it. Tap into it in terms of our own experience, so that we begin to see that the things around us truly are miraculous, and the people around us truly are miraculous. And what we bring forth from within ourselves truly is miraculous. And so that's, to my mind, more important than you know, a lot of the outer appearance of things that we often see, and the divisiveness that we see around us. We can transcend that. We can get through those obstacles by looking a little deeper into the magic that's all around us.
I believe that is beautiful, Mitch. I want to thank you for being today's guest, special guest on the Roundtable Talk Show. And I also want to thank everyone who tuned in to watch the show live, as well as everyone who is watching it in the archives. I definitely appreciate your support, but I always ask, please don't just watch the show. Please don't just share the show. I greatly appreciate you sharing the show, but I ask that you support our guest. Mitch Williams was here today, and he shared a couple of tricks with you. And he made us, especially me, open up our minds to the possibility. So please support him. Visit his website. It's in the Facebook post. Follow him on social media. Reach out to him. And when you do, please let him know. Sharifah Hardie says hi. Now, if you're interested in more ways that I can help your business, or maybe you want to be a guest on the Roundtable Talk Show, please visit my website at AskSharifah.com. Until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, everyone have a safe and a blessed day. Bye now.